living, but I'm kicking down the door. I be on my way. I be on my way. I be on my way. I be on my way.
Listen, oh baby, I done did it again. I put my fist in the drink and pain to the pen. Just need to release, I hate to pretend, but I done seen too many people play and get hit or make it to quit. I want you happy, I want you never stressing about your next bill, but focus on your next thrill and on your next meal. I know you love me, I never thought that I just tweet from time to time. I always be ride or die, I know that real thing hard to find. So I'm so committed to the vibe now, always thinking about right now. Always be in and out of thoughts I truly need to type out. Getting better with time now, we got way pull the sky down. We'll be on our way, on our way. Listen, sorry for the hard times, but the good times always our way. It's not an excuse, it isn't proof, I'm just saying. We living in abundance and our radiance is ever vested. I love your essence, but baby, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Keep on her way.
I'm on my way.
James on his way, on the way, we on the way.
My Lord, my Lord. So many empty tears falling on the floor. No more, no more. I be living, but I'm kicking down the door. I be on my way. I be on my way.
I be on my way.
I be on my way.
I be on my way.
I be on my way. I be on my way. I be on my way.
Chill on his way.
And Rice on his way.
Said chill on his way.
And Rice on his way.
Coming
on
on
my
the
way.
way.
And we on our way.
So we stay on the way, on the way,
on our way,
on the way. I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
I mean, I was told that I met her. I was told that peace lives around here, but I think they must be confused. Confused with silence, perhaps. In fact, I asked silence, and she said,
Nah, young man, peace don't live around here. I don't even look like that queen. She sings and carries a big sword with a smile so clean. Her hair is natural and it rings like bells. And in heels, she's just a little taller than justice.
So I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
And she said, Justice. Justice's arms are long and his embrace is strong, and you can hear every step he takes. No, not every step he asks for. Every step he takes. No, not every step that is given. Every step he takes. She said,
Go back. Go back and let them know that they got me wrong. I am silent. My cousins are dumb.
Hush.
Mute.
Quiet.
Settle. Shut up. Sit still. You know them.
I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
I see the way the healer made. We'd rather have the disease instead. It's bleak, but it don't have to be this way. Our pride will be the death of us. All the bleeding, the grieving, the tears mean what? All of the thoughts and the prayers for naught. If we really want change, we must count the cost. Our pride will be the death of us. And Jesus, are you still showing mercy? Our homes and our schools are burning. Will you still hear our prayer? Our prayer. And Abba, nation's grown shorter for your broken sons and daughters. Will you still hear our prayer? And have mercy on us. And have mercy on us. But if we turn as you prophesy, you will derail us from our demise. But if we fail to unveil our eyes, our pride will be the death of us.
Mother's lost her child, father's breaking down, children with no hope to be found. Our tears fall down like rain. Are you speaking to our pain? Feels like the stone won't let us out. Oh, when systems give no room to breathe, and justice is so hard to see. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you now. All of our help, all of our healing, we call Jehovah Rapha. Come and heal.
Pushing through the crowd, you know where healing can be found. When it's just one touch of your ground. Yeah. When systems give no room to breathe, justice is so hard to see. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you now. Nuestra ayuda comes from la sanidad. Cantamos Jehovah Rapha. Come and heal. Nuestra ayuda comes from la sanidad. Cantamos Jehovah Rapha.
We know you have the power to come and heal our land like only you can come.
Eres nuestro sanador.
We mourn with the mothers whose heart is in pain. We stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, come and heal.
We sing with
mother's lost her child. The father's breaking down. Children with no hope to be found. Our tears fall down like rain. Are you speaking to our pain? It feels like the stone won't let us out. When systems give no room to breathe, and justice is so hard to see. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you now. All of our help, all of our healing, we call Jehovah Rapha. Come and heal.
Pushing through the crowd, we know where healing can be found. We need just one touch of your gown, your gown. We're not alone in our grief. You're with us when we are weak. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you now. All of our help, all of our healing, we call Jehovah Rapha. We know that all of our help, I know all of our healing, we call Jehovah Rapha.
We mourn with the mothers whose heart is in pain. We stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, come and heal. We mourn with the mothers whose heart is in pain. We stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, come and heal. We sing with the children whose hope is not found, believing
longer till we how much longer?
Let dry riverbeds call for rain, and let the dying soul breathe life again, and let these broken dreams rise awake, and these once living stones reanimate. Oh, no more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. No more, yeah. No more, yeah. No more, yeah. Listen, it's time for Jubilee. Hear it speak. Every whispered prayer come to be. Every broken scale be unbent, the hands and contrite hearts revived again, yeah. We say, no more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. No more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. When the splendor falls, all things must come to light. Come to light. To light, to light. Come to light. To light, to light. When the splendor falls, all things must come to light. Come to light. Come to light. No more wasted minutes. No more wasted days. No more wasted hours. No more wasted no more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted, no more wasted, no more wasted. Right on time. Must come to light. Come to light. Come to light. When the splendor falls, all things must come to light. To light, to light. Come to light. To light, to light.
Ahora quiero que repiten conmigo. We say, levanten sus voces.
Lift up your voice.
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 We say, no, 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 no.
No more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. No more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. You say, we say, no more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. No more wasted minutes, no more wasted days, no more wasted hours, no more wasted years. Yes, what's up? Y'all give it up for my sister Nikki, my boy B-Joy, my boy So Chill, and the man himself, James Pack. My name's Royce Lovett. We are Common People, and we're bringing you the sounds from the lyrical underground, the spiritual underground, dedicated to them that always had a sound, but it never got around. So we gotta put it down. Tell me, can we kick it now? Say, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Say, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Say,
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
So chill on his way. Here we go. Say I'm on my way. Yeah, 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 I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
My boy James on his way.
My Lord, so many empty tears falling on the floor. No more. I might be limping, but I'm kicking down the door. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
I put the message in the bottle, few words I couldn't swallow. Funny how the alphabet yesterday I touched my tomorrow. Damn, fam, can hurt you more than the curse. Black folk ain't got a wool, but we'll put rims on a hearse. I feel intense like Indy Gans and Willie Lynch. I wonder, can I touch the sky? Just some ceiling fans. Generational, inherently black. Educational, the impairing the tech, but I ain't tripping, just spitting written description. Just listen, I keep it real like I'm fishing. I got it down like tuition. With the rail on my back, I can't lose. He got 2 boys and a bad boy. I'm blasting, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
My Lord, so many empty tears falling on the floor. No more. I might be limping, but I'm kicking down the door. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
Oh, baby, I done did it again. I put my fist in the drink and pain to the pen. Just need to release, I hate to pretend, but I done seen too many people play and get hit. I make it then quit. I want you happy. I want you never stressing about your next bill, but focus on your next thrill and on your next meal. I know you love me. I never thought that I just tweet from time to time. I always be ride or die. I know that real thing hard to find. So I'm so committed to the vibe now. Always thinking about right now. Always be in and out of thoughts I truly need to type out. Getting better with tight now. We got way pull the sky down. We'll be on our way. Listen, sorry for the hard times, but the good times always I weigh 'em. It's not an excuse, it isn't proof, I'm just saying. We living in abundance and our radius is effervescent. I love your essence, but baby, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Keep on her way.
I'm on my way.
James on his way, on the way, we on the way.
My Lord, so many empty tears falling on the floor. No more. I might be limping, but I'm kicking down the door. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
I'll be on my way.
I'll be on my way.
I'll be on my way.
I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
Chill on his way.
And Rice on his way.
Said chill on his way.
And Rice on his way.
Coming people on their way.
And we on our way.
So we stay on the way, on the way, on the way, on the way. I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
I mean, I was told that matter. I was told that peace lives around here, but I think they must be confused. Confused with silence, perhaps. In fact, I asked silence, and she said,
Nah, young man, peace don't live around here. I don't even look like that queen. She sings and carries a big sword with a smile so clean. Her hair is natural and it rings like bells. And in heels, she's just a little taller than justice.
So I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
And she said, Justice? Justice's arms are long and his embrace is strong, and you can hear every step he takes. No, not every step he asks for. Every step he takes. No, not every step that is given. Every step he takes. She said,
Go back. Go back and let them know that they got me wrong. I am silent. My cousins are dumb.
Hush.
Mute.
Quiet.
Settle. Shut up. Sit still. You know them.
I don't know justice.
And I haven't met peace.
Check one. All right, why don't we try this one? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Why don't you just clap your hands if you're glad to be alive and in this space today. My name is Michael McBride. I am the executive director of the Live Free USA Network. We are a national group of organizers, people of faith, directly impacted families who are working at the intersection of ending gun violence, whether it is among community members or a result of state violence at the hands of law enforcement officials, prison guards, vigilantes. Yes, we work to end mass incarceration and the criminalization of Black and brown families and under-resourced loved ones in this country. And so we are so grateful to be in this amazing partnership with the DeYoung Museum and the Kehinde Wiley Archaeology of Silence exhibit. If you are glad to be here for such a historic gathering, one more time, come on, let us clap and just appreciate this great gift of today. I just want to offer to you that this is such an important moment in the life of our country. The lived experiences, particularly of Black folks, of people of African descents, folks who are literally the descendants of enslaved Africans and indigenous folks who are native to this land. It's such an important moment in our history because it is literally a movement that is afoot in this country attempting to erase our history. Erase the truth and the narrative and the experience that has in many respects been a catalyst for ensuring that a liberation movement that ends state violence and, dare I say, violence in all of its forms comes to its conclusion whereby we can live free in this country and not experience the arbitrary threats and realities of violence that disproportionately visit Black folks and people of color in this country. The Archaeology of Silence exhibit is, in my mind, one of the most important creations, if you will, of this time because it makes very concrete the reality of violence and the way in which it attempts to steal the voice, the vitality, and dare we even say the life of too many Black bodies in this country. And we are here because we believe that if we are experiencing this exhibit, the Archaeology of Silence, the only way you defeat silence is to use your voice. It is to continue speaking. Now, not all speech is created equal. Somebody say amen, right? We heard a terrible cacophony of speech earlier this week on a major news platform. And some of us probably wish we did not have to experience such speech. But when there is propaganda being spewed across the public airways and spaces, it is even more incumbent on we who believe in freedom, we who believe in peace and justice. We cannot rest, nor can we be silent until it comes. We believe that this moment is so important in a time where the gains for the last several decades to reimagine public safety, to end the police brutality and over-incarceration of our community members had captured so much momentum, and now we're in a moment because of the crime spikes during the aftermath, dare I say, the current experience of a global pandemic. So many people are willing to now reverse the gains made around reimagining public safety and ending mass incarceration and pushing back on police violence. People are now starting to say we need to go back to a tough on crime era. And I want you to know, as a survivor of police violence myself, physically and sexually assaulted by police officers in 1999, I am a survivor of what a tough on crime model of public safety looks like. And today we have mothers who are survivors of what a tough on crime approach looks like. The only way we could go back to a tough on crime approach to public safety would be us ignoring and silencing the voices of these mothers. Next month, we will have fathers here. The only way we could go back to a tough on crime era is to ignore and silence the voice of these fathers. This exhibit, this partnership, we hope is a moment where we plant a flag and we say never again, not on our watch, and the blood that still cries out to us from the grave through the testimonies of these mothers, may they imbue all of us with enough courage, imagination, and tenacity to end every kind of strategy or movement that seeks to silence the voices and the lives of vulnerable people in this country, particularly those who are black and under siege by a criminal injustice system. This is the first of many conversations, and we're so grateful that you are here to help us kick this off. And so again, give yourselves a hand just for being here for this first conversation series. We are excited for the next couple of speaker series conversations to be partnering with the Families United for Justice and the Love Not Blood campaign. We're going to invite Uncle Bobby, affectionately known, Cephas Johnson, he is the uncle of Oscar Grant, to come and offer us an opening welcome and libation ceremony that helps to ground all of us collectively in the spirit of this struggle. Please put your hands together for Uncle Bobby.
Thank you, Pastor McBride. Before you really hear our voices, I want our libation to take place first because this is critical. Oh, thank you. And our good dear friend, Michael Roosevelt here, will actually perform the libation. How many of you actually don't know what libation is? Just raise your hand. Okay, so we have an audience, some that don't know what libation is. But anyhow, we're going to step back from the mic and let Michael do his thing.
Hello, everyone. And a libation is a traditional African practice of calling the ancestors. It is a ritual by which we call them into the room to be with us, to share in our spirits, to guide us, and to move us forward. In the African tradition, the libation usually uses water, and we pour water into a plant. When we do libation, we also, as we do them, we call out the name of the ancestors by name. We will do this today together, and I want you all to stand up to show proper respects to the ancestors. We are here to honor those who have left, who have been taken from us. We want to call out their names, and I'll begin by calling out Oscar Grant. We say Ashe. We call out the names of the ancestors in this room. Call out the name of your ancestor. Ashe. Ashe. Keep calling them. Ashe. 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 I'm gonna walk on this side. Ashe. 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 And for all the ancestors that we did not call by name, we mean them no disrespect. Ashe? Ashe. Ashe-o. Ashe-o. Thank you very much.
You got it. Thank you, Michael. Yes, I am affectionately known to the community as Uncle Bob and uncle of Oscar Grant. Of course, Oscar's mother, Wanda, who you will actually hear from today, sitting on the panel, is my baby sister. But before I say anything else, I need to call up my wife, Auntie B, as she is well known in the community, Auntie B, to come say a special tribute to the mothers that are here.
Good afternoon. I just want to say thank you all for coming. Thank you. I'm going to ask all the men to stand up and give all these beautiful mothers, all the mothers, and the black woman and the woman, give them a hand and a round of applause. Give it up. Give it up, you guys. Because you guys cannot do 9 months, okay? So keep clapping. Keep clapping. Y'all cannot do the labor. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. And you sure can't push that baby out. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Okay? And endure what it is. And we are the first teachers. So even if you're not a mother, you should have some reference for mothers because we teach you first, good or bad, with your mamas. That's what you can't change. So I just wanted to say thank you all to all the mothers. And as we shared in our prayer, for us, they take a day and say Mother's Day. But for us, every single day is Mother's Day. So celebrate us every single day. Thank you. Give it up for these mamas. Y'all ain't clapping good enough for mamas. Okay, every day Mother's Day. All right, thank you. And thank you, Pastor Mike. We love you.
Yes, and we are the co-founders together of the Love Not Blood campaign, as Michael has spoken about, that we are all in partnership with. Of course, the D. Young Museum, Pastor Mike with Live Free, a coalition of black-led organizations throughout the state of California. Up under Live Free is approximately about 25 different organizations throughout the state of California that's up under that umbrella of Live Free, and we're one of the organizations. But our organization specifically speaks to the essence of families impacted by violence. And what we do basically is we embrace these families, we love on these families, and we help these families begin to network among themselves so that they can not feel alone. So that if they're struggling in that late hour of night, that they can make a phone call. We also introduce them to our brother here, Dr. Tony Jackson, who is a psychologist, clinical psychologist that helps work with families to come out of the extreme trauma, that first stage, so that we can begin to process articulating our loved one's story, eventually, as you know, advocating for legislative change, and then, of course, ultimately seeking justice for the loved one that was sadly murdered. So without further ado, I want to call Michael back up, and he will introduce the first panel of mothers that will come. Thank you, Michael.
So we are getting ready to experience what I believe is a sacred moment. All of these mothers have traveled from out of state on this Mother's Day weekend to share this time with us. Earlier this morning, they were able to experience a somewhat private tour of this exhibit, and so we are going to be hearing from them literally their first public kind of reflections on this powerful exhibit that they experienced. I invite us to hold space together. I invite us to be gentle with ourselves and with one another. I invite you to extend to these mothers much grace and strength and appreciation for them allowing this weekend to be a part of their experience. And so as we bring them to the stage, we're going to split these 6 mothers into 2 panel conversations for about 25 or so minutes, and allow them to share a little bit of their own story, but also what this Archaeology of Silence exhibit meant to them and what the challenge is for all of us to make sure that we no longer have to experience such levels of violence and theft of life at the hands of the state, the system, or dare I even say one another. And so we are going to invite the first panel of mothers to come. Mother Wanda Johnson, Oakland's own, Bay Area's own Wanda Johnson, the mother of Oscar Grant. Come on and let's appreciate her as she comes, everyone. If we can take that seat over there. Mother Mona Hardin, the mother of Ronald Greene. Come on, y'all. Came in. Bless you. Bless you. And Mother DeAnna Joseph, the mother of Andrew Joseph, all the way from Florida, Tampa, Florida. Can we all just stand and just appreciate them as they have come to share this sacred time with us? Mother Wanda, we're certainly going to start with you. I know I've mentioned your name, but just give us a quick introduction of who you are, and I'll ask all of the mothers to do the same. A quick introduction of who you are, and a story and introduction of your son, and the experience that brings you to this conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am the mother of Oscar Grant, who was killed January 1st, 2009 at the Fruitvale BART station. Oscar was a young man who loved his friends, he loved life. And in the process of him loving life and seeing his friend be brutalized by the police, he stood up for what was right. And so as he stood up for what was right, he ended up getting shot and killed by the police. But just a quick story about Oscar. Oscar, again, was a young man who loved life. He was a helper, and when he seen an injustice, he stood up for it. And even though it cost him his life, his legacy and his name will ring throughout this world for the rest of eternity. Thank you.
Amen, amen. Thank you, thank you. Mother Mona, please just tell us a quick introduction. Tell us where you're from, and tell us a bit about your son, Ronald.
My name is Mona Hardin. I'm mother to Ronald Greene. He was killed May 10th, 2019. We just made 4 years. We were told originally that Ronnie was killed in a car accident, and he died when his car impacted with a tree. Me and my 2 daughters and my little granddaughter, who was 8 at the time, we rode into Louisiana. It was Monroe, Louisiana. And I'm from Orlando, Florida. We made that trip, and in the course of hours, we found out that the whole story, it was a twist and turn. We were there a total of 9 days, and we found out that Ronnie was not killed by a car accident. We're still pursuing Louisiana State Troopers, and I just came back. I was honored to have Uncle Bobby with me. Andrew Joseph was with me. And I'm impacted just by the fact that 4 years later, for myself, that I'm still fighting the state of Louisiana because the system, it's a corrupt system. It's an ugly evil that lurks throughout Louisiana. It exists. It probably exists. But I couldn't have done it without the families around me. And I thank you just for the opportunity here.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Mother DeAnna, please introduce and tell us a little bit about your son.
My name is DeAnna Joseph, and I'm a mother of a 14-year-old child who just wanted to grow up. Andrew was a 14-year-old who went to the Florida State Fair on Student Day, a day in which the children were giving tickets to attend a school-sanctioned event. I was the mother of a child who was vibrant, who loved life, who looked forward to just having a day out without his parents chaperoning. A child who said, "Mom, I'm gonna be okay. You can trust me." And then on that day where so many systems were in place, you had the school district, you had the Hillsborough County Sheriff Department, you had an entity that advertised for the public that safety would be the #1 priority. And then you get that call that your child is not coming home that evening. It was a devastating blow because all systems failed my son that night. It was a result of racial profiling, where the sheriff department felt as though all children were gang affiliated. Andrew was strip searched. They looked for gang identifiers all over his body, stripped him of his clothing. If you were a gang person, you were to have special markings. Andrew had none of those markings, but it didn't stop the sheriff department from taking him into custody, photographing him, transporting him in a sheriff paddy wagon, and abandoning him on a dark road at night where he was hit and killed. February the 7th, 2014 was this deadly night where I never saw my son again.
I want to stay with you, Mother DeAnna. This exhibit that we've all been able to experience, Kehinde Wiley at the opening said that he wanted to create something that captured both the beauty and the ugliness of the experience of Black lives and Black bodies against the backdrop of the beauty of creation. You've just given us such a powerful recollection of your son's and your family's journey. As you walk through this exhibit, I wonder what struck you. What did the images, the spirit, the space, what did it do for you and to you as we continue to grapple with the reality and seek justice?
I saw beautiful colors. I saw rich details, but I saw long suffering. I saw a people of different hues coming to an art space and bringing my darkness to a light that I lived through, that I continue to live through, and I meet so many families living through. But no matter how beautiful that art is, it's still a rippling break of your heart to know that there has to have this type of art to exist so that our people and our community can somehow resonate with what we feel. What I also found to be very telling is the spectators looking at the art. And those spectators being of different cultures and wondering what did they think when they looked at that art. Did it speak to their heart? Was it speaking to their heart in the same way that it was speaking to mine? And if it really was going to bring about something deeper and more connected, whereas they go into their communities and say, you know, there's this art form that exists and we need to really do something different because it's too much of images like this every day. So that was what really resonated with me through this whole process of visualizing beautiful work, however disheartening at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes, yes. Mother Wanda, I want to come to you. We both are ministers, clergy leaders, and I know your ministry of healing has been a huge priority for not only yourself, but for other families and young people who have experienced similar tragedies, if you will. As you've experienced this exhibit, and again, acknowledging and knowing, if you've taken the guided tour, the audio guided tour, Mother Wanda's voice is actually helping to narrate portions of this exhibit. Talk about why you felt it was important for your voice to be one of those guides, and the importance of healing in this work as well, which is a huge priority for you.
So when we look at the exhibits, one of the things that we look at, as we look at it, we think about lifelessness. But there is an exhibit there where there is a young man on his knees and kneeled down. And if you look at that, we always have an opportunity to pray. When Oscar was killed, I thought about his friends, how they saw him laying on that cold concrete slab. They saw blood oozing from him. They heard him say that he was shot. And they had to process, Pastor McBride, all of those things. They had to process going through the nightmares, going through the substance use, trying to cover the hurt, pain, going through the anger, processing all that. But yet, the beauty that you see through that exhibit where the young man is on his knees is that through all of that, there is still an opportunity for prayer. There is still an opportunity to know that everywhere that you hurt, God is able to heal. Because he is that balm of Gilead. You know, you and I may talk about it and you may say encouraging words to me, but still knowing in my heart that you can't heal the hurt. Only someone who's more greater than I. And so as we tap into that love emotion, as we tap into the one who's able to heal us everywhere that we hurt, only then can the healing take place. I always share with other families that I talk to and I counsel. When I share with them, I say to them, we understand all the steps of grief. We understand the anger. We understand the frustration. We understand the denial. We understand the bargaining. We understand all of those things, and we go through that process as if it's a roller coaster, sometimes up and sometimes down. But yet, if we tap in to our greater source, if we tap into our higher power, as we go through those phases of trauma, as we go through those phases of grief, we're able to go through them knowing, God, I can't help myself, but you can help me get through this pain so that my pain will turn into a greater purpose. And so as we go through that trauma and as we pray for the strength, he'll give us the very strength that we need so that when we face death, right, we know that it's not the end, but it is a new beginning for us. And that our beauty on the other side will be so amplified, nothing compared to our beauty on earth.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, absolutely. Mother Moni, you've mentioned it's been about a four-year journey, and I've worked, as many of us have, with so many families who have to literally fight for justice. You would think that when something like this happens, people would just say, I'm sorry, how can I fix it? But so many folks who are not proximal to this pain really never fully understand how hard it is just to get someone to say, I'm sorry, we made a mistake, be transparent. To the extent that you can, because I know you and Uncle Bobby literally just got back from Louisiana at 2 a.m. literally trying to get some progress. Just share about the journey, and I know all these families could, but just a few minutes, just so folks can have a snapshot of while you're grieving and healing, you're still literally trying to just get justice. It is another part of the backdrop of the ugliness, I believe, yes. Right?
I thank you for that. And I must tell you, as I'm absorbing everything, I've got to keep my anger at bay because I'm steady fighting. From May 10, 2019, me and my children have been fighting the state of Louisiana, just uncovering the layers of deceit and no matter what different entities you're getting through. Because we were told Ronnie died of a car crash, driving while black, and he was literally what I was able to see well over a year and a half later through leaked videos from whistleblowers, Louisiana state troopers, AP News. My son was tased while he was still behind the steering wheel. He was literally beat to death within minutes and begging for his life. I'm sorry, I'm scared I'm your brother. And for this year, this is what we say. We wear the shirts. And as we're fighting the state, I look at the collection of shirts we have where people say you don't want your family member to become another hashtag. And I look at the collections of shirts we have and the families and that I'm just so honored to be part of. I'm so shameful to say, until it impacted me and my family, I had no idea. You know it, you hear it, you see it on TV, you have no idea until it impacted you. What I will say is the ugliness that oozes through so many states. This is us. This is here now, 2023, that we have to get on so many platforms just to have our voices heard, just to seek justice, just to have the ugliness of the police, that overpaid police that control the streets, that control the narrative. They try really hard to control the narrative. I'm strengthened by that. I'm angered, I'm hurt as hell, but I am so strengthened and I'm so focused. There is no better anger than what I'm feeling right now because we will not stop. This right here, we just will not stop. I'm encouraged and we're all fortified by connecting and networking with each other. I'm so impactful, I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes. I just want to give you all one opportunity, just give one charge. We're going to have everyone come back for some Q&A after the second group of mothers come, but if there's one charge you would give to this audience, right? Just because of time, I'm sure y'all can give them 10 commandments. Somebody say amen, right? But just one thing that you would want them to take away from experiencing this exhibit, listening to these voices, and appreciating that likely in their city, in their neighborhood, in their church, in their mosque, their congregation, their family, there is this evil lurking, either unbeknownst to them or very much known to them. What would you want folks here to know?
I would just want everyone to know that you can't look away. Don't think that your life is so pristine and perfect, whereas this could never happen to you. Don't be under the impression that death is not knocking on your door as you speak. Don't take for granted that your children will come home. I would say also, when you see families like this, don't say to yourself, now what was that boy or what was that girl doing to deserve that death? And I would also say, when you see a protest and you see a demand of a family that's needing help, you get out your house and help and be thankful that you're on the other side helping rather than being a victim helping. And lastly, I want y'all to educate yourself on qualified immunity. Educate yourself on qualified immunity and ask that every elected official that you come in contact with sign the bill by Ayanna Pressley and Senator Markey. Because even though we get our day in court, there's still qualified immunity lurking, telling us, no, you did not win. Okay, so that's what I'm saying today. It's never over for a family like mine, like those that's sitting on this panel. We get no time for grief or closure. And it's so much that you all don't know looking at us. So much you don't know. And it's so much we didn't know when we delve into the legal system because we're not educated attorneys. At every twist and turn, there's these evils existing to block a black family from ever getting justice and accountability for their loved ones.
For the moment.
I'd like to extend on what DeAnna was saying, the level of distrust. Just like DeAnna says, you just don't know what's lurking out there. No matter which side you think the good or bad is, it's on both. You go daily not knowing who to trust, who you thought you could trust, you can continue to trust. You have to live, you have to conduct your home the best way you can. As family members, you have to unify. Keep your family strong. Keep them close. Talk amongst yourselves. The conversation has to continue around your dinner table. With my family, with my little grandchildren, it hurts me like crazy that my little 7-year-old grandson feels this, knows this. When he's riding in the car, he'll duck. Oh my gosh, that's police. Gotta hide. I hate that he knows that, but we've been able to turn that around to where he, as a little fella, he understands. He knows now when his granny is out what I'm actually going for, Uncle Ron, and he's counting the days for when I return, because he'll even ask me, what happened? He's knowing that there's good news, because he knows of the families, how we connect, and he's looking forward to one day when I can take him out with me, which my daughter is not going to allow right yet. But no, she says, no way, Mama. But he and his little 3-year-old daughter, I know within the year, my daughter, my 3-year-old sister, my daughter will allow both to come with me because she's seeing that it's okay. Our families are literally strengthened through this ugliness. Thank you, ma'am. And I was able to see that when I was there with Dorothy Jean Dale Chambers' family, Uncle Bobby and B. I met and I saw these families. I see what goes on throughout all the others. I was there. I was moved when I went to pick up a box of T-shirts that DeAnna had brought to her house, and I saw, and I was moved by the fact that they're still in the house that little Andrew grew up in. And it's how you go through, how you manage, how you survive, and in the end, your story actually has a good place as you speak about it. So I'm literally looking forward to that to happen within my family, because what's happened is really wrecked us. It's tore us up severely. Because we all have our own inputs. You know, Mama, you should do this. Mama, why didn't we do that? But they see, as I've told another family member, you know where your place is. Watch me as we move through this. And I know there is another side to this. There'll never be a happily ever after like I thought our life was going to be, because we're forever impacted. But I do know that with perseverance and we see life no other way, we're going to see this through.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
Amen. Thank you, thank you.
So I'll be really quick. I got about 2 things. The first thing is, I believe it was Malcolm X that talked about the media, that it could be positive, a good thing, or it could be the worst thing for us. And I'm paraphrasing that. But so what I would like for you to take away today is, when you see things on the media, don't just take it to heart and believe the lie that has been told unto you. Don't just take it to heart, allowing the media to demonize that victim and make you believe that the victim deserved to be killed. I ask you to go back and study it first before you come to your decision, because so often when we see our young men and our young women being killed, African American or brown being killed on television, as DeAnna said, we say, well, what did they do to deserve it? We put the blame on them. So I'm asking you to change that mindset and begin to study it for yourself before you come up with a conclusion that that individual deserved what they got, as the media will portray it. The second thing that I ask you to do is, if you're not part of when they have jury pools, when Oscar was killed, there was really no representation of the African American people on that. There was really no representation of those in the community on the jury pool. And so I'm asking that when you get those notices, that you get on the jury pool and represent us. Learn how to answer the questions. Yes. One of the things that I've learned and I've heard in the jury pool, that we're too honest when we're asked the questions. And I'm not telling you to go and lie, but I have been told by a few attorneys that the reason why oftentimes African Americans don't get on the jury pool is because we're so honest, and then we're kicked off the jury pool. And so I'm asking you to become jurors and to get involved. Don't wait till somebody knocks on your door before you want to get out and help and join the protest or help and speak against the injustice. Act now. Act today. Join us in this fight, because when we're all working together, you have hands, I have feet, we all have different gifts, and if we bring all our gifts to the table, we can change the system. We could dismantle it and tear it down and rebuild it so it's inclusive of all of us and not just some of us. Because when our system was created, it wasn't created with you or I in mind. It was created for a certain set of people. And now today we have to work to dismantle and change the system so that it is inclusive for all of us and not just some of us. And you could help with that by voicing that opinion every time you have an opportunity, by going to your council meetings, by going to your supervisors meeting, by being in the face of those that are in our communities, leading our communities, demanding and telling them you want to change. And that's the only way it's going to happen, when you and I, all of us, get together.
Come on, let's appreciate these mothers, everyone. Come on. I salute you. And thank you so much. Thank you. Come on, y'all. Let's appreciate these mothers for bringing their voice, bringing their gifts to us. Please. Now, this is what we know. Please have your seats. This is what we know. This is such a heavy conversation. Some of us are going through the exhibits, a heavy experience, that we also wanted to build inside this experience of today some opportunities for healing, some opportunities for reflection. And so as you go through this day, we want you to take advantage of some complimentary healing sessions that are made available to us right literally outside the main entrance. Reiko Galbraith is here, from an international healer is here and offering some free Reiki sessions. We have a sound bath that's going to conclude today. As we transition even right now, we want to give you an opportunity just to sit and reflect a bit on what we've heard. And so turn your attention to the screen for just a moment of some music that attaches images of some folks organizing and giving language to some of this pain and a call for healing. And then we'll come back with our second group of mothers to take us deeper into this conversation and end on a note of how we can take action together. Is that all right, everyone? Turn your attention to the screen.
Mother's lost her child, the father's breaking down, children with no hope to be found. Our tears fall down like rain. Are you speaking to our pain? It feels like the stone won't let us out. Systems give no room to breathe, and justice is so hard to see. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you now. All of our help, all of our healing, we call Jehovah.
Through the crowd, we know where healing can be found. We need just one touch of your gown, your gown. We're not alone in our grief. You're with us when we are weak. Oh Lord, help our unbelief. We need you.
Whose heart is in pain, we stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, come and heal. We mourn with the mothers whose heart is in pain. We stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, hope is not found, believing that you turn all things around. We mourn with the mothers whose heart is in pain. We stand with the fathers in their holy rage. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Rapha.
Yes. Come on, if you want some healing in the land, we call on healing. Again, that is a rendition of a song by Common Hymnal. They are a wonderful collective of activists and artists who pull together amazing art to help us in our movement work to cultivate healing. And so we invite you to, you can find them on any social media platform and anywhere you get your music. Common Hymnal, a wonderful group of young people who are making great art and music in this regard. Again, we have Rachel Daniel. For the next several hours, we'll be taking walk-up appointments outside. So if any of you would like to get a little healing on your way out, she is a Reiki specialist and will be offering some free sessions literally right outside. We wanted to, again, make sure that we offered some ways for us who are holding some of the heaviness of this exhibit and just a lived experience, a way to also experience some healing along the journey as well. How many can appreciate that we must be healed as we go along the journey? And the healing is often within our reach if we just reach out for it. I'm going to ask you to act like you're in my black church and just take your right hand and just reach up and grab some healing. Come on, somebody. All right, now you ain't got to go to church tomorrow. Somebody say, man, no. All right, we are going to bring up our second group of mothers who literally flew from out of state to be here with us, and we are just filled with such gratitude for their presence. First, another Bay Area mother who has been helping to lead the fight for justice here related to these issues. Mother Taun Hall is coming. Let's celebrate and appreciate her as she comes. Mother of Miles Hall, whose life was taken as well by police violence. Bless you. Great to see you. Yes. We have Wanda Cooper Jones, who is the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, is in the building, and we are so grateful for her making this trip to come. Let us appreciate her as she joins us on stage. God bless you. And we also have Mother Gwen Carr, the mother of Eric Garner, who has come in all the way from New York. So grateful to have her here. Let us appreciate and celebrate her as she comes and joins us on the stage as well. Bless you, Mother. Thank you so much for being here. Well, we'll start with some Bay Area leadership and love, and let you start us off here. But just, again, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your son, and then we'll invite the other mothers to join.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me today and putting on this amazing this event, including us all. My son, Miles Hall, was shot and killed on June 2nd, 2019, while experiencing a mental health emergency. And I don't know, a lot of people here know Walnut Creek, know that things like this, police shootings, don't happen in that community. My husband and I, we moved there for a safe community to be able to raise our children along with our daughter and go to great schools. And Miles, unfortunately, started showing signs of mental health challenges. So unfortunately, the way the system's set up, it's set up to be a very reactive system for people with mental health challenges. It's not preventative. So while we saw him declining with mental health challenges, there were no resources for him. Some of the things that someone in a mental health episode, if you have mental health challenges, you have to be, they want you to be a danger to others, great danger to self, or gravely ill, to get help. And we just weren't able to get the help. So we were able to partner with the police in order to try to find him assistance. The year before he was killed, we were successful in getting him what they call a 5150. That's a non-voluntary hospitalization. We thought we had partners with the police because they knew who Miles was. They knew that he had mental health challenges. But when the day that about 9 months later, when Miles was in a full-blown mental health episode, even though we tried to be preventative, tried to get him help, now he was needing other assistance, and so 911 was called, and Miles was basically killed within 30 seconds of arriving. He had a garden tool. He broke a window. Breaking a window and property damage should not be a death sentence. Right. Mental illness should not be a death sentence. But unfortunately, the way the system is set up right now, it's all about criminalization. So Miles was unfortunately killed on June 2nd, and we knew right away that it was kind of our life's work to make sure that people in mental health challenges didn't have to rely on the police. So I knew right away, my husband and I, my daughter, that now we had to make sure there was new legislation that would be changed, that police would not be the first responders to mental health challenges or mental health calls. So there's a 988 system throughout the nation. One thing we did was knocked on doors of legislators to try to find something else, another way to get help. And we were able to piggyback on 988. In California now, we have a law. It's called AB 988. It's called the Miles Hall Lifeline Act and Suicide Prevention. Yes. So now what will happen is people in California will now have a safer alternative, so they won't have to rely on police. There'll be another way to get help. So in every county in California, there will now be a mobile crisis units. Yes. So the police won't need to be called, especially when you're trying to be preventative and not reactive.
Thank you for that. Look at that. I mean, coming out the gate with solutions, and thank you so much. Mother Wanda, please tell us a little bit about yourself, and obviously you're from Georgia. I am. And the country was captivated during the pandemic by the tragic story of your family. So welcome to the Bay Area.
Thank you.
Sorry that you're here on this assignment, but give us some words and tell us a little bit about Ahmaud and this journey.
Sure. My name is Wanda Cooper Jones. I am the proud mother of Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud was my baby boy. I had him on Mother's Day of 1994. Ahmaud got up on the morning of February 23rd of 2020. He started his laundry. That Sunday was really like today. It wasn't a cloud in the sky. And Ahmaud went out for a run. A lot of you may not know him, but Ahmaud was having some mental challenges as a 25-year-old black male. And Ahmaud chose running as a way of therapy. So Ahmaud would run. Ahmaud would run to feel better. On that Sunday afternoon, Ahmaud, he chose to run in an area where people didn't look like us. He decided to, like people would say, go to the other side of the tracks. What he went with, it was mostly white people resided. And Ahmaud stopped by a house under construction. I learned that Ahmaud stayed about 2 minutes in the property, and Ahmaud began to run again. Ahmaud was chased down. I didn't realize my son had ran for 7 minutes before he was killed. But Ahmaud actually ran for his life. Ahmaud was confronted by a son and a father who had stopped at an intersection, and they waited for Ahmaud to approach. Ahmaud was shot 3 times with a shotgun, and all 3 people who were involved were allowed to go back home. I was called later that afternoon saying that Ahmaud, and I was told this by an investigator from Glenn County, saying that Ahmaud was involved in a burglary Ahmaud was confronted by the homeowner, and Ahmaud was shot and killed. I immediately knew, as being mom, I had to get my son in a safe place where he was safe again. So I began to prepare to lay my son to rest properly and not really deal with any questions or because no one was reaching out. To make a long story short, there was about 74 days before an arrest was made. During those 74 days, I had questions. I had emails that was emails that was not returned, and no one from the local authorities called to tell me actually what happened to Ahmaud. But I was also told that there was a video. And my cry in the midst of those weeks was, I want to see the video. If Ahmaud did something wrong, I want to see it, and then I'll go away.
And these were law enforcement folks
Yes.
you're talking to.
There's a video. And the video would never come. I want to add to that, during these long 74 days, I didn't have any legal representation. It was no one. Everyone that I was reaching out to, they didn't believe that Ahmaud was killed by not doing anything. People actually thought that Ahmaud did something to deserve what he got. And there was no help. But I prayed, we got legal representation, and we got arrest. Amen. And the arrest came not because I saw the video, it's because people like you saw the video. Yeah. You guys saw that Ahmaud was killed not doing anything, nothing. And that needs to stop. I didn't realize that this pain was so crucial until I went through this pain myself as a mother. And to come together with these other families who have gone through this for decades, it really breaks my heart. Because the pain is so unreal. And I'm sorry I talk too much, but I wanted to say thank you for supporting me, my family, because we got justice for Ahmaud because you guys stood with us. You guys chanted justice for Ahmaud, and we got justice for Ahmaud. We need to stand with these other families who have not got justice yet until they get justice.
Yes. Mother Gwen, it goes without saying, your family, your son, Eric Garner, his name was one of the earliest victims that have rung out across the country over the last decade. Many of us poured out into the streets in support of justice for Eric Garner. I can't breathe. I mean, we've all. I still got my shirt. I almost wore it today, but my COVID pounds wouldn't let me fit it. So you maybe you should introduce yourselves. Maybe there's some folks that may not know your journey, your story. But I also would love for you as a bit of a elder in this space, just to, over the last decade, where do you think we've gone since we all saw your son being harassed by those cops and his life being taken, and we've all been trying to figure out, as the prophet says, how long?
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
It's afternoon now? Okay. I wouldn't know. I know where I come from. It's late. It's evening now. But, I just thank you all for being here. I thank you for sharing this space with me and all the other mothers and the mothers who are not here, the other grieving mothers, which most of you don't even know their names. It's tens of thousands of us out here. They call us the mothers of the movement. But I always tell everyone that we are the face of the mothers of the movement, because there are tens of thousands mothers of the movement, and we are here to represent.
Yes.
Okay. So, as everybody's seen the video of Eric Garner being choked to death. And even though we see the video, we did not get justice. But I will never forget that fateful day when I heard the news about my son. I didn't hear it directly. I was at work. I was a New York City transit worker. I operated trains from one part of the city to the other. And that day, I was operating a train from Coney Island to Astoria Boulevard in Queens. And when I got off the train, because, you know, we can't have our phones on when we're on the train, but it was in the summertime, so I would have like a 30, 35-minute break once I got to the other end. And usually I would sit out on the platform, turn my phone on, and listen, and call people, see who've been calling me. Well, that day when I turned the phone on, it seems like everybody was calling me. But the 2 phone calls that I answered, nobody had direct information. They just said they heard that something had happened with Eric involving the police. And the next phone call had the same information, didn't have any direct information. But it made me very anxious, and I knew I needed to get to my son and find out what had gone on. And just to back up a little bit, that morning before I left for work, I had a conversation with Eric. I called him because I had been calling him a couple of days before, and it was going to voicemail. But that morning when I called him, he answered. And I said to him, well, Eric, I've been trying to get in touch with you. Why is your phone going to voicemail? Because we always talk to each other like at least 4 or 5 times a week. And he says, well, Ma, remember I told you that I was going to Virginia with my wife and for a family reunion, and we were going to cut our phones off so that, no one would be calling, we wouldn't be disturbed. And I says to him, oh, I forgotten all about you. Did tell me that, and I forgot. I'm just so used to calling you. So anyway, I said, don't forget our reunion on Saturday. He says, oh, I didn't forget. What should I bring? I said, just bring some soda and water. We got the rest. He says, okay. We chit-chatted a little while, and then we hung up. He said, love you, Ma. I said, love you too, Eric. Because this is the way me and my children always ended our conversations. Well, not knowing that would be our last conversation. When every time I think about that conversation, I said, I wish I could have stayed on that phone forever and kept talking to him. Well, that day when I got home, when my husband came and picked me up from my job, because I told him, come pick me up, something happened to Eric, I got to get to him and see what happened. Well, when he came to pick me up, he already knew, but he was trying to hold me down until I got back to Staten Island. But with the phone ringing, and I kept badgering him, what happened? What's going on? He had to break down and tell me that Eric was no longer with us. I thought I would lose my mind at that time. It didn't matter what happened or how it happened, but to tell me that my child was no longer here, that was enough. I tried to get out that car, but he probably knew he didn't know how I was going to react. So he had put the child lock on the door. He had made sure that I got in my seatbelt and whatnot. And being I couldn't get out the door, I was trying to kick the windshield out because it seems like I could run to Staten Island faster than that car could get me there. But, God is good, I have to say, because without him, I know I would have lost my mind. And that's why I tell everyone, stand on that everlasting arm of God. Because I know I've been around a lot of mothers lately, and even over the 9 years, as you say, and I've seen so many different reactions from mothers who have lost their children, and I don't blame any of them for the way that they react, because you react the way you react, you heal the way you heal, you grieve the way that you grieve. So, I'm in, empathy with them. Yes. And all I try to tell them is my journey, how I healed. And the way I healed, I pray. I come from a praying family. My father was a minister, although not that I was such a great Christian, but, we did go to church. My children went to church. We are working on it, Mother. Don't worry about it. So, but like Eric was a gentle person. He loved people. He always tried to consider other people's feelings. And even that day when they say that he was selling Lucy's, not saying that he didn't sell Lucy's, he did, but that day he wasn't. He had just broken up a fight. And now, as Wanda says, the media controls the narrative. The first narrative you get is that's what controls. Unless you get out here and you lift your voice and you tell people who your child was, And I tell them, because, soon after his death, they wanted to put something very negative. They did have a negative story out about him. They had that he was homeless. They had, an uneducated black. I paid good money for my son to go to college, okay? He was not uneducated. He could talk to you on any subject. He talked about politics. And if you remember the video, the whole time he was talking to the police officers, he had his hands up in the air. Right. He was never a threat to those police officers, but they still decided to take that one police officer still decided to choke him to death. And even though he said, I can't breathe, 11 times he said, I can't breathe, they still decided to take his life. He was targeted. As he laid on that hot ground that day and other police officers pounced on him, they had no mercy, no regards for his life. I say to them, put yourself in that position. Your child laying on the ground, you and other people are just pouncing on him after he has been choked to death. We have to empathize with these mothers and these fathers and not just treat it as another news story. These are not just news stories that you should sit on the edge of your couch. You should do something about it. Whatever you do, a lot of people don't protest. No, you don't have to protest. You could write letters. You can do art. You can organize in your community. Organize voting rights and organize voting. Tell people how they can vote. Tell them what to do, how to look at their candidates, and how to choose a candidate. Mm-hmm. And we always should choose candidates that's bringing something to the table for us. Yes. Because if we're not at the table, we are on the menu. And we must remember that. Yes. Okay. Yes. So, but for the 9 years, I've been going. I've been getting laws changed. We do have a new law in New York State, the Eric Garner anti-chokehold bill we have. Yes. I got that law passed, and we got the right to know law and the 50A, where there's more transparency with the police officers. The STAT Act, we got, because I do things behind the camera as well as in front of the camera. And we want to know the statistics of the people who you kill, these innocent people who are killed. We want to know their gender. We want to know their race, and if they were mentally ill, why were they killed? We need to know all of this when our loved ones are killed. And usually, what the police officers were saying before this? We don't keep a record. Now imagine that. They keep a record of every officer has a folder. But, I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for listening. And don't only listen. Please help us as mothers to keep on our journey. This is a long, treacherous journey, and a lot of times it's a lonely journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We want to create some time for some question and answer, but I want to just give you all another opportunity to just give some immediate reactions to the exhibit. Obviously, the spirit behind this exhibit, Kehinde Wiley was, I believe, in Senegal during the 2020 year of the pandemic, and he said that Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, particularly during that year, catalyzed his spirit to create something of what we've experienced in honor of all these lives. I love how Mother Gwen said this is the face, right, of the mothers of the movement, because there are so many. What did you take from the exhibit, and what would you want folks to take from the exhibit?
Okay, I'll go first. To be honest, I didn't know what I was walking into. I wasn't prepared for it. The first piece of art I saw, selfishly, I immediately thought about Ahmaud. The beautiful black skin. And he appeared to be a jogger, someone who had been running because they had on athletic shoes. But he was lying there, not alive. And I often pictured Ahmaud lying there in the middle of that street, not alive. Yet his skin was beautiful like the paintings. But it was, I think DeAnna said it was like life, but it was death at the same time. I saw something so full of life, but something that did not have life at all. It was just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would agree with the other things that the other mother said, just about just the brightness, the beauty, so much beauty, the lighting, the darkness in the room. That's like my life. The darkness, so much darkness. But yet there's so much light, because in Miles's death, there's so much more growth and change. And so for me, I saw hope. I saw hope. But when I saw them lying on the ground, I thought of Miles. And I thought he shouldn't have never been in that situation where he was a victim, just like these young men were victims. And the criminalization is just over and over. And I feel like in the sculptures, we see them, we see the chains. I think of slavery. I think of the systemic racism that embodies our country. And I see that as a parent who tried to get help on a preventative level than more reactive, the barriers. And I saw so many barriers in his art. And just the way that even the facial expressions, there was peace in them, but there was also so much pain. Yes. And that's the pain, like DeAnna and Wanda, we talked about, Gwen and Wanda, and so many other mothers that are here today with us who are not speaking today, but this embodies all of us. And as Gwen said, it's thousands of people. We never thought we would be part of this club. Yes. But we are part of this club now. Yes. And I'm so grateful for Love Not Blood and Uncle Bobby and Aunt B who embraced us from the beginning and brought us in here. So it was a beautiful exhibit, and it was so powerful that I brought my mother here with me, that she saw the first painting and she had to leave. So just to say that this is real families, and the pain doesn't go away, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. I was in awe of the exhibit. Just watching, seeing the different poses, the different way that these bodies were laid out. I particularly paid attention to the detail, the vines that were growing over the bodies of those victims. And I personally put myself in the space of the young man who was laying out on the slab, and he had all the vines growing up here. I symbolized those vines as being me laying over him. I said, because if that day when he died and I was there, they would have had to kill both of us. So I just say, these were my vines, this was my body growing around his body. And the details of the fingernails and the palms, I always looked at my children's palms, and I said, even if I didn't see the face, I would know that was my child by his fingernails, by his palms, you know, by the shape of his hands. And that all brought back to me my son, what they did to him and how he laid there and I wasn't there. Because sometimes we have a feeling of guilt because we weren't there to help our child. Maybe I could have saved him. Or maybe, as I said, it would have been both of us. But when I say this and I pray about it, I could hear a whisper of the Lord saying, if you had died, who would have been the one to lift up his name? Who would have been here to advocate and tell them who Eric really was, to tell the stories, tell about his first step, to tell about his first day of school, the graduations you went to. Yes. Who would have been here to do that? So a lot of times we are kept here for a reason. So that's why I tried to help the mothers who tried to contemplate suicide or on heavy medications, to tell them that it will be a better day. But we have to pray about it. We got to look forward to it. We can't stay stuck. We have to move forward so that we can uplift our children.
Yes.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you to Aunt B and Uncle Bobby for bringing us to this space, because it's very important that we talk to the others.
I'm going to invite the other mothers, come on and just come up, because we want to just create an opportunity for some questions. I see a chair right there, Uncle Bobby. Can you just grab that chair? I'm going to just grab this chair right here. And if you have a question that you'd like to hear from one of our mothers, our dear beloved right here will be Phil Donahue of the 2023 and run up these stairs. I'm glad you're here, brother, because my spirit is willing, but this old flesh is a serious thing. Again, let's just appreciate all these mothers again. I'm just so, we all are just so grateful for you being here, and yes, just grateful. So our time is quickly leaving. We want to get them to the airport in enough time to get back home, so we won't be able to be here all night. But we'll want to take a few questions. So please do not editorialize, but just give us a question. Please tell us your name, where you're from, and your question.
My name is, can you hear me? My name is Andre Singleton. I was talking about Bloodstone. I want to shout out to Mama Wanda. We worked so hard for this, and it's just an offering of gratitude for me as a son, I'm very black, and I see my mother's. I'm from Kansas City. I know some folks have been reaching out to the Yarrow family. All these things hit me really hard. And I'm an artist, and this is what art is to me. And I just want to give the offering of an ancestor named Malidoma Patrice Somé, who said, "Your wound is your gift." And that's something I learned that I didn't want to believe. And y'all embody that by just reminding us through this ministry. This is a ministry, and this is a circle, and y'all keep in this circle. And as your son, I'm hurt and I'm honored. And I just want to say that to you. I didn't know I would ever even live to see this and be a witness. So y'all have a son, and your kids have a brother and me. I'm the firstborn. I have 3 younger brothers and a sister. So I feel y'all. So thank you.
Thank you. Let me turn that into a question, because I think I heard Mother Gwen talk about how we must be empathetic. People grieve how they grieve. People react how they react. Powerful wisdom that our wound is our gift. I'd just love to hear from a couple of you all about the wound, and what are you doing, or what have you done, or what should mothers and we in community do to help heal the wound, right? Knowing that it is a wound. I think sometimes many of us, I know when I first began to walk with family members, you just don't always know what to do, and so you sometimes feel paralyzed. You don't want to be a burden, don't want to do anything. But what advice would you give to folks? Some of you have already said that, but just another opportunity to provide some wisdom and guidance. Anyone?
Well, I would just say give space, give time, all those basic necessities that your spirit tells you to do. Don't push too hard. Don't insert yourself in areas that the family member is not ready to divulge in. So many times in my grief walk, my family, although they meant well, they would say, "Let Andrew rest. You need to just let that child rest." And it just turned me away. Even though my grandmother may have meant well, it turned me away. It's like, how could he rest? He's been killed. He didn't transition naturally. Somebody killed him. And somebody needed to pay for that. You know, he needed me to advocate for him. He needed me to fight for him. So I would just say, use your wisdom, use what the divine guides you as your measuring stick to be able to be in community and love for families like mine.
Yeah, and I would say when this happens to a new family member, there's so many people that's crowding around them, you know. So as DeAnna said, you give them their space. You don't go there telling them, "Oh, I have a lawyer for you." You don't do that, you know, because that family don't want to hear that right then. You know, you go there, you embrace them. You just show them some love. Ask them if, you know, they need anything. Are your other children okay? You know, are they in school? Can I pick them up? Or whatever, you know, you do something helpful and don't start trying with the political part on it right away, because people don't want to hear that on the first day.
Let's get it. Is there another question? One more question.
Hello. My name is Supreme. I go by the name Supreme Rivy 11. I'm also an artist, part of my hat. My birth name is Ahmaud. I'm the son of Wanda Rivera and Jose Manuel Rivera, who are both my ancestors now. And I just wanted to say thank you for allowing someone like me as a creator who lives to tell the times. And I put my life literally to the creator, and I just create as I see fit. And a lot of what I heard today I will take with me forever, and I would put that into my work as I have before. And I just say thank you.
Anyone with a question for the mother? All right, we'll take these last two.
I'm Karen Fleshman. I'm a San Francisco mother, and I just want to apologize. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I'm also a white person. And could you say like what white people can do to be in solidarity to prevent other families from experiencing your anguish?
Talk to other white people.
I'd like to add to that. Don't just let the conversation stop. Continue it. Be a community. Be a village amongst yourself. And connect. Connect with us so that as villages, because it takes all of us. This is a problem that covers all colors. It's huge. It hasn't started with any of us. It goes so far back. The countless families, connect. Don't just accept what you hear. There's so many differences. We're all different. We're all valuable no matter what we say. You just don't know how the next person can really make a difference to how we move forward. I appreciate that question because just don't let the conversation be persistent with what's beyond your fence, beyond your green grass. Not saying that you have that. Don't take it personal, please. But just be mindful because the hurt is real and it's not stopping. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd also just like to add, as we do live in our family, we live in a more white area, and Miles was killed as a black man in a white area. You know, I would say, just like they said, you have to just be there and support. But, you know, it is showing up to those city council meetings. It is taking the extra step to talk to your other friends or your neighbors. But I think with our organization is we almost had to create our own Black Lives Matter because no one really cared that when Miles was killed. It was not an outrage. There was no outrage at all. So I would say you just support and be there. So, and just the fact that you asked that question that's amazing. So thank you.
And I want to encourage you to read, the author is Jackie Bathalora. She wrote a book on really white supremacy, and she is Caucasian herself. And in that book, she instructs what white people could do to assist in this movement. And so I want to encourage you that you could be the face of the movement by sharing our truth, by supporting us, by getting out there speaking against the injustices that our people face.
Yes, and that we're gonna have to end it there, but I do want to just say a couple things. You know, it is so important for all of us to appreciate that state violence disproportionately impacts Black communities, but the sheer number of lives lost to police and sheriffs and prison guards are overwhelmingly white. Just the sheer number. We are disproportionately impacted, which means by the size of our population in this country, more of us per average are disproportionately impacted. Our Latino community members are more disproportionately impacted than Black community members, but they are so afraid to speak out about it because of their status or more targeting by law enforcement that they largely suffer in silence. The Black community for hundreds of years have not had one day in our history in this land where we have not been subjugated to disproportionate daily violence at the hands of the state. The only reason we speak up is because every day since we've been here, we've had to speak up. It is unfortunately a cross we've had to bear for our whole existence here. And it is to say then that the only way this becomes a national priority is when others who are impacted by this as well speak up like we speak up. There is such shame I have found in our work within white communities of even being associated with this kind of a conversation, because just like when the mass shootings started to happen, you would hear a lot of white folks say, but this doesn't happen here. The reality is it's happening everywhere. And we must not make this just a black issue or just a Latino issue. It must become an issue where all of us say that we will not allow state violence and the violence of unaccountable, unconstitutional police officers to run amok in our country on our watch without all of us lifting up our voices and saying no more. And the mother's love is the engine that will keep us all accountable to make sure that it will not be silenced. Let us appreciate these mothers one more time, everyone. Come on, one more time, one more time. We're so appreciative for you allowing your Mother's Day weekend to be inclusive of this experience. We're going to have a healing practice, and then I'm going to bring Uncle Bobby up to help close us out. Our dear friend, have your seats. This is a collective healing practice we're going to all experience together to help us have some opportunities for not closure, but just some healing. Go ahead and introduce yourself to us and explain what you're getting ready to invite us into participation.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing today? I'm going to go grab this last bowl right here. So my name is Brittany Tanner. I am an artist. I'm a mother, a singer. I sing at the Way, Berkeley with Pastor Michael McBride. And I had the honor of being in all these beautiful women's presence last night, except for you. Nice to meet you and be up here with you. And they wrote down these affirmations. And as an artist, as a singer, I witnessed these women's stories, and the hurt and the pain that I felt in my heart, it just feels like an absolute blessing to be able to sing affirmations to y'all. A little bit more about my story. I'm gonna be brief and get to the sound bath. But I started out singing, just trying to be in the industry and trying to do music. And that career evolved into healing when I was introduced to a Be Imaginative Healing Circle, who is a partner with the group that I'm in, Soul Development. So in these meetings, we were having healing circles, and we were working with the women here in the Bay Area who had lost their sons and children to gun violence. And it was in that space that for the first time I had ever expressed that I had lost my uncle at the age of 15 to gun violence. And we were working on a documentary, and basically I lost my brother in the making of this documentary. And my singing and my music, the practice had to turn into something that would heal me. And so I created a space where people could come together, they could say their affirmations, and we would sing the affirmations, because affirmations are powerful and music is powerful. So I thought, okay, if I put these two things together, it would be like a superpower. So being in those spaces, I created the Song Remedy. And so that's what I do. I collected these affirmations. We hosted them last night at the Way, and they came up with these affirmations, and I just want to share them with you all and to affirm the room in general. And the thing with the sound bowls, so we're all frequency, right? We're all tiny little microorganisms. Our skin is moving daily. With every breath, our cells are moving. So I'm no magician, I'm no one special. I am just using this as one of my healing practices. There is a world of things that I do that I have to do to keep me sane. I'm a mother of a toddler, and that is something in itself, but just I really wanted to develop a holistic practice, and I'm no expert in sound bowls, but I realized when I touched them and when I used my voice along with the sound bowls that there was this thing that almost allowed me to reset. And I think in life, in corporate America and in our societies, we're always pushed to just go, 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 go. And so I enjoy opportunities where I'm able to slow down and breathe deep and cry and laugh and dance and yell and do whatever it is that society says that I can't do. Allow myself to live free. So I will demonstrate that for you all. And I'm gonna sit on the floor because that just makes the most sense. You can play the track. I can turn it up a little bit. To use a chair to put I need somebody to hold my mic. That's what I need. Okay. So I invite you all to breathe very deep while you're listening to the sound bowls. Allow it to just go throughout your body. And whatever you feel, it might be a little backache, breathe through that. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me, right?
All right, come on, let's appreciate Miss Brittany and this amazing sound bath as a tribute to our mothers. Uncle Bobby, come and give us some action steps and some final remarks, and then we're going to wind down and let everyone go. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I know, there's an old African saying, we don't live on time, we live in time. Somebody say amen. And so I think we've lived into some time today.
Thank you, Pastor Mike, and of course, our mothers, thank you for being here and sharing. Before you leave, we want you to also be introduced to some of the mothers that are here that have lost loved ones. And the first person I'm going to start with is my mother, who is 85 years old. Could you please stand? And hold your rounds of applause, please, until the last mother stands up. This way, they are all recognized together. Mom. Grandma Bunny. Miss Addie, mother of Stephen Taylor. Grandmother of Stephen Taylor, I'm sorry. Of course, Miss D. Friday, mother of Kobe Friday. Is Cheryl still here? Miss Dion? She had to step out, okay. So is there any other mothers in here that have lost a loved one to state violence or community violence? Any other mother? Thank you. So listen, first, let's just love on these mothers for a minute. And of course, the very last voice you will hear will also be of a mother, my wife, who is also a mother, where she will share a couple of things. But again, from us, the Love Not Blood campaign, we want to say thank you, Mike, Live Free, and of course, the D. Young Museum, Kehinde Wiley, for allowing us to partnership with him to present this Mother's Day weekend, these powerful mothers. Not just the ones that are sitting here, but the ones that I believe Ms. Carr talked about that we don't see. You know, the face. You know, mothers like Addie, who is a grandmother. All of you may have heard of Stephen Taylor right here locally, and many others. So I don't want to go down that hole, but I just wanted to just acknowledge the fact that these mothers are here and that they are part of this face of this movement that Ms. Carr spoke about. Thank you, Mona, for being here. DeAnna, thank you. Miss Wanda, thank you. Of course, Taun, thank you. You know, we've had a chance to embrace all these mothers, you know, with God's help. And so in closing, thank you from myself, affectionately known as Uncle Bobby, the uncle of Oscar Grant. Of course, my baby sister, Wanda, here, the mother of Oscar Grant. And in closing, my wife would close with the organization.
Okay. I just want to give it up for the mothers again. Please, 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 please. And stay tuned, because next month is the fathers, and we definitely got to love on the fathers, because sometimes they get brushed under the bush, but they are just as important. So we're going to pay attention, live free, pay attention with Love Not Blood campaign, and we're going to have the fathers next month. But today, give it up again for the mothers. As I said, y'all can't do what we do. Go ahead. And every single day is Mother's Day. I'll be brief. We just want to talk about Families United for Justice. You see these families? Unfortunately, we have a database of over 700 families, unfortunately. But the beauty of it is that once a year we have a conference and we bring these families together. It's called Good Vibrations Only. We don't set in it, we talk about it, we have therapists who do it, and then we move on to Good Vibrations Only, and it empowers. Is there power in it? It's power in the families uniting. So always support any efforts where you see the families uniting, because families united will never be divided, and together we can change everything. So we got to get up out of here. Pay attention. Hopefully we'll see you, plus bring 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people next month for the series, okay? So you guys have a good one. Don't forget, every day is Mother's Day. Clap for your mamas every day.
All right. I encourage you all to look up Families United for Justice online. Donate to them, because their organization literally supports so many families, over 700 all across the country. Next month on Father's Day weekend, we will have fathers who are faith-to-faith a few faces of the movement. We'll be here to talk about the challenge of addressing the trauma that men carry when their sons or daughters or children or loved ones are lost to state violence. Very important conversation about how men need to heal and face our trauma head on. That'll be on Father's Day weekend. In July, we will be talking about intersectionality, and we have some special guests that include Ryan Coogler, that include Kamau Bell, that include perhaps E40 and a few other artists and entertainers that are going to come and join us. In August, it'll be a Black August theme. We'll have Angela Davis, among others, and a few others here to talk about that. September, we'll talk about reparations, and then we'll close in October with a final capstone event, a concert, hopefully outside. So stay plugged into the DeYoung Museum. Follow this exhibit. I just want us to give a great shout out to Kehinde Wiley for such a great exhibit that he has pulled together that allows us to come together. God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Celebrate the caregivers, the mothers, those who mother you, those who pour out that lavish love. And we'll see you all next month. Blessings to you. God bless. Take advantage of the healing sessions outside. Sign up. And we look forward to being in touch with everyone. God bless you. Thank you for coming out. Good night.